Hi, welcome you all to the seventh session of Pandas. And today our agenda is to discuss data frame access. So first of all, I have created this day7.ipynb file. You guys should also create this file because day wise I am going every day I am creating a separate ipynb file for the sake of our convenience. Fine. So first of all, what we used to do, we used to import these two libraries, pandas and numpy. So let's import this and then read this data set nutrition.csv because we are going to use this data set. Fine. So let's read this, run this. You guys must be having this data set. Now, we already know that the data frames is having two dimensions. And the series that we have studied, that is having a one dimension and the data frame is having two dimensions. So let's print a couple of records here as a reference. So let me print it. Dot head. So this is going to give me the top 5 records. Now, visually, when you see these data frame, these two dimensions are called index level, or you can say rows and the columns. This is my columns. And conceptually, by data frames having two dimensions, we mean that the number of attributes that we need to specify in order to select a specific observation in our data frame. Let's say I'm selecting this specific observation in our data set is 2. So we need to provide the exact row level. This is my row level here. 2 is my row level here, as well as the corresponding column level. This is my column level. And this is kind of like, you can say, it's like a coordinates of the data points. So if I am talking about this particular 0.2 gram, 0.2 Z data observations, so this row level is 2 and the column level is 0, 1, 2, 3. So the its row is 2 and the column is 3. You can understand this like. And these are known as data frame axis. This row and the column, these are known as the data frame axis. Let me take out my. See, if I'm talking about this particular observation, let's say this particular observation. So I have to write 0, 1, 2. If I will do indexing, 3, 4, 5, like that. And here it is already. So what is my row? Row is equal to 2. And what is my column? Column is equal to 3. So what is the, you can say, exact location of this observation? Exact location of this observation is 2, 3. That means if I come to this row and to this column, I will get this data point. Can you see the intersection? So this is how, and this is called the data frame axis. This is known as data frame axis. Now, let me erase this. And let's erase this. And now let's see. We can easily access this by using the access attributes. So let's say if I will write here nutrition dot axes access, simply this thing, what I'm going to get. If I will write, let's see what I'm getting. So when we are doing this nutrition.axis, this is returning a Python list of 2 pandas index objects. This is my first index object and this is my second index object. And one is characterizing the rows and the other is characterizing the columns. We can also look, this is my row and this is my column. This is having a data type. This row is having a data type. You can see int 64 and its length is 8789. It is starting from 0 and going till 8788. When 0 is included, it is having a line 8789. And this index level has a data type object. And it is starting with this and going till this water. So this nutrition.axis is giving me the information about my both axes, row axis and the column axis. The first is my row axis and the second is the column axis. Now, we can look at this in isolation too. Let's see. If I write nutrition dot axes dot axes axis and I will put 0, what it means? It simply means that when, let's see, when we are doing this nutrition.axis, I am getting this in the list of 2 index. This is my first. If I will do indexing here, this will be the 0. This will contain the 0 and this is 1. So if I will simply write nutrition.axis and I want to access the item at the 0th index. So what I will get? I will get the row axis. This thing, the first item I am getting. This thing, first item. That is my row index. Can you see this? Similarly, if you want to access anything inside this row axis, what you will do? You have to specify its position. That is inside the row. Let's say I want to access this 3. Then you have to supply this as a second item here like this. If I put 3 here and then I will access, I will get 3. Fine. And this is completely equivalent to more directly saying, if I will write more directly like nutrition dot index and here if I will write 3, let's, that is I want to access the third index, nutrition dot index. Okay, sorry, I have to write square bracket 3. So here I am getting, and this is the more direct way of saying, because here the index is like in the form of 0, 1, 2, 3 row index. That's why I am getting 3 only, the third index. Now the next dimension is the column levels. So column level is the axis 1. In other words, you can say the second item in this Python list of indexes, contains our column level. The second item in the Python list of indexes contains our column levels. Again, the extraction works similarly as we have done in the case of row. So it will be like nutrition dot axis axes, and earlier we used to put 0 here because of the row. Now I will put 1 here. I am getting my column level. Can you see? And similarly, when we are doing this 3, you are putting, you want to access the third index. Similarly, let's say if I want to, inside this column, I have accessed this column, and inside this column, I want to access any items. Let's put some random number here. Let's say I am putting here 69. What shall I get? I am getting polysaturated fatty acids. And you can see here, it is present here, polysaturated fatty acids. That is, this polysaturated fatty acid is having the 69th index. If you will start indexing from name 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, it will fall in 69th index. So in order to source the 69th column, the more direct equivalent is to say nutrition dot column. Similarly, what we have done here, nutrition dot index, I have written here. I can directly say nutrition dot column, column column. And let's say if I will put 69, let's see what I am getting. columns. Fine. Columns. I am getting this thing. Polysaturated underscore fatty. So it is also verified here. So what we have studied, these are the axes of our data frames. And as we progress in our uses of pandas and deepen our data analysis toolkit, we will see many methods in pandas that contains an axis parameter. The axis parameter will shows up in a lot of methods. Now I want to show you something. Let's see the axis parameter. Fine. If let's say, first of all, understand this thing. I'm writing this thing 0. If I'm writing here 0, what I mean? 0 means rows. And when I am writing and 1, it means columns. Fine. And I'm not going to run this, just this is, and 1 is columns. Fine. Now, here 0 indicate rows, 1 indicates column. If let's say if I write nutrition dot drop NA, and I'm putting this axis is equal to 0. What it means? That means it is going to drop the NA from my row level, not the column level, because I'm specifying here axis is equal to 0. Fine. And this thing, this, by the way, it also takes rows or columns as strings. It can also take the rows and columns as strings. Here we are putting the not strings, but it can take. Because I wanted to talk about the integer-based equivalents here. So we can say not only the drop name method, but in any method that supports the axis parameter, when we say 0, that means rows, and when we say 1, that means column. Fine. That's all for the day. Next thing that I am going to discuss is called changing the index. So first of all, let's push this code to the GitHub. 7th session, I suppose 7th session. Today is the 7th session. 7th data frame access AXES completed. Let's push the code. Fine, sync changes. Okay. Fine, guys. Meet you in the next session. Thanks for learning. Thanks for coming. Bye.